Hi everyone, I'd like to ask you to like and subscribe so you can get more of the glorious content of your math review. Alright, so today we're going to focus on how to find the equation of a line from a graph. You're not always given the equation, sometimes you're just given the picture and say, figure it out. So we're going to go from here. Most people tend to think this is slightly harder because they tend to overcomplicate it. There's a couple things we need to figure out. The first and the main thing is we need to find the slope. That we get an equation for, a formula for. So let's insert slope in algebra 1 is labeled with an m. So m equals, this is going to be a fraction, which is the y minus the x. So we want y1 and y2 means 0.1 and 0.2. I'm going to subtract them, so y2 minus y1, and that's going to be divided by the x's. So the x of 0.1, the x of 0.2. x2 minus, I forgot parentheses. Yeah, parentheses are key in most cases, especially if you have graphing calculators. Please make sure you use parentheses in the right spots. Otherwise, you can get what just happened there and a wrong answer. Those you want to try and avoid as much as possible. But life happens. This is why we double check things. There, that's what we're supposed to look like. All right. So the slope is this fraction. Y of 0.2 minus y of 0.1 divided by x of 0.2 minus x of 0.1. So we have the equation. We need to figure out what the points are. Now, that doesn't really matter. You can pick any point you want on this. I'm going to pick two that are fairly easy. So let me get I'm going to circle them real quick. All right, so this one right here. That's the easiest one to start with because it crosses the y-axis, meaning my x is 0. Now let's see if we can find another one that goes through the corner of one of these boxes. Oh, there's one right here. So we'll use that one as well. Those will be our 2 points. So this will be 0.1. This will be 0.2. This one, our x is 0 because we're on the x-axis, and our y is 4. So this is 0, 4. Okay. And this one here, let's see, that is x is 6. If we go straight up, y is then 8. So that is 6, 8. Okay. So now we have our 2 points. Label them x1, y1, y2, and so forth. Alright, so let's write those out. So down. Alright, so we have our 0.1. So let's make a table for this actually, make it easier to read. Okay. So we have our x1, our y1, our x2, I add one more, insert row below, and then y2. Let's just make it easier to put into the equation. So our x1, well that's the first number, so that's 0. Our y1 is 4. Our x2 is the first number in the second one, so 6, and then 8. Okay. So now we can figure out what our slope is. Okay, so I'm going to copy this equation. Okay, and now I'm going to start to fill it in. So our y2, well that's right here, that's an 8. Our y1, which is right here, that's a 4. Our x2, well that's a 6. And our x1, well, that's a 0. Okay. Okay, so this is 8 minus 4, well that's 4. And 6 minus 0, well that's 6. Okay. So we have 4 over 6. This fraction can get smaller. They both share a factor of 2. So that is 2 over 3. All right, so our slope, our first thing we need to find the equation of a line from a graph is right here. It's this fraction 2 over 3. Yes, I know people don't like fractions, but sometimes they do occur. Okay. So from here, there are two ways we can go. We can either go the slope-intercept form of a line, which is the y equals mx plus b, or we can go the point slope form, which is slightly more complicated. Okay, so that is y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Like I said, it's a little more complicated. There is a third form. It's called standard form, but that one you take either the slope-intercept form or the point slope form and put x and y on the same side. So that one I'm not going to go into. Alright, so I'm going to do this both ways. Alright, so slope-intercept, we need two things. We need the slope and this thing called the intercept. Well, that's when, so b is when x equals 0, which we have. That is one of our points. It's right here. X is 0 and x 1. So that means our intercept is 4. Okay, so this one, fairly straightforward. Y equals our slope, 2/3 x plus 4. So that's the slope-intercept form. The point slope form, like I said, is a little more complicated because it uses one more number. So I need the x1 and the y1. Again, this could be any point, but I'm going to use exactly the numbers. x1 is 0, y1 is 4. Okay, so it's y minus 4 equals 2/3 x minus 0. And there's your point slope form. Now again, you can take the point slope form and change it to either be the standard form, which is x and y on the same side, or solve for y and get the slope-intercept form. All those are correct. They mean the same thing. Most people tend to get confused, like, is this the right answer? Yes, these are the correct answers. They may look slightly different, but they are both correct answers. Okay? Well, I hope this was helpful. Again, please like and subscribe to see more content. Leave a comment if you want to see something specific, and I can go over that. But thank you for spending time with me.